Okay. So strategy is important in an information system. Okay. It is a plan to gain an advantage over our competitors, no? Because most businesses nowadays, if you enter into a venture, most probably you are not the first one to do it. Okay. Even e-commerce, no? There are so many people are doing so many people are doing business online. We will not be the first to do it. Okay. So in order to gain, in order to sell, you must have to cave in into someone's market share. No? Dapat kukuha ka sa market share of existing. Ano? That's the truth, no? That's the reality. But business is business, no? So strategic information systems are those that create and seize these opportunities, which means that if the demand for an item suddenly increases, your system should be able to tell you that you should buy more of this because there will be more sales in the future. No? And also, on the other hand, no, discriminate against misfortunes. Like, what if the sales of an item suddenly dips? No, because they're so much saturated. That the market is so saturated. No? There are many ways to gain competitive advantage. No? Not just adapting an information system. Sometimes you may need to combine initiatives such as marketing, no? And planning. No? However, in any initiative or any strategy, innovation is always an important part. No? Because if you just follow the tradition, okay, you cannot outcompete your competitors because they are ahead in terms of the tradition. If the tradition is to buy more, no, most probably your competitors are well funded enough such that they can buy most of the items that you need to sell. No? Do you follow, di ba? Yan ang mahirap. If you're going to use to establish, for example, grocery market, there are so many convenience stores, no, groceries, small mini marts, no, existing, and how to outcompete them is difficult because aside from their established capital, they also have established credit lines, no, on which you still have to establish yourself. No? Mahirap mag-compete. You have to innovate. No? Okay. So here are this according to our source, no, basic ways to gain competitive advantage. You reduce your cost. Reducing your cost may entail hard work, which means that you have to choose from among your suppliers. You have to scour the market, no, for the least possible cost and the least cost, the cost of delivery, cost of acquisition. That's what we mean, no. The cost of an item is not just how much you buy, but also the cost of acquisition, which means that how much will it cost for you to transfer from your supplier to yourself, no? to your warehouse. Okay, so you have to reduce cost. To be able to reduce cost means you can sell at a lower price, which basically will make you one of the uh, uh, not priorities of your customer. No? Establish rise barriers to market entrance. No, this is rather unscrupulous, no, but it's part of the reality in a competitive market. You have to raise barriers of those who intend to compete to you or start to compete with you. No, make it more difficult for others to gain the advantage, no, and start up a business to compete against you. Now, also establish high switching costs. Make it difficult for your customers to switch to other buyers or rather to other suppliers. No? Make it difficult. Make the cost of switching to others high so that your customers the cost to your customers, no. So your selling price, not just the cost is not just the selling price. No? It will also entail the cost of acquisition on the side of your customer. Create new products or services. Okay. For example, create other ways to be able to reach out to your customers, and ways that your customers can reach out to you. Diba? These are called services, because when you sell something, you also package along with it the service. For example, how easy is it to book, okay, or to get a product delivered, no? So may mga ano, okay. Differentiate products or services. You differentiate your products from others and your services, okay, so that you will be able to get a brand for yourself, no? So people will know that, oh, you have a complete line. You're a one-stop shop. Sometimes you may be more expensive, but you will give them more convenience. Okay. Differentiate from other products. Enhance your products or services. No? Make it better. Making it better doesn't only mean improving its quality, but improve the product that comes along with it. You establish alliances with others, no? By offering combined packages, no? So paminsan, no, sa mga groceries, they have point systems, no? Anong tawag dyan? Stored point system, like in the gas station, you're given points, no? You get a card, a customer card, and then patron card, and then they will give you points the more you buy from them, so that you can gain this, no, points back again at the moment you get to a certain level. No? So this is establishing alliances. Lock in buyers or suppliers. No? You get to lock in your suppliers, so that, especially on highly competitive products, so that they will not be able to sell to your competitors. No? So for example, no, that's the purpose of franchising. No? Some companies will have their products sold by exclusive distributors or franchises, which means you can only buy from their distributors. You cannot buy from them directly. Okay, so you lock in your buyers and your suppliers. Okay. Okay. Any questions? No? So this is a diagram, no? Locking in your suppliers, reducing cost, creating a barrier for the new entrants, differentiate your products and services, enhance your product, and establish alliances. Questions? Ito na. So reduce your cost. No? Reducing the cost does not mean only reduce your buying cost, but your cost of acquisition. No? We can automating the customer service can help reduce the cost of acquisition. Diba? Because the more time you can save, no? the lower will be the cost. Sorry, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Okay. I think we've gone through this, no, unconsciously. Any questions now? Okay. Creating and maintaining strategic information systems. When you create an information system, you don't just install a software. You don't just buy a computer and install a software. Okay. However, it is important because certain opportunities can be accomplished, no? Or many opportunities to accomplish advantage, no? Using information technology. Although your competitors may also have this already. Okay. Now, sometimes you may have to make a decision between creating a strategic information from scratch or modify from previous modified systems. However, the most important part is it must serve your goal and it must help collaborate with other functional units of your company. Sometimes it may be useful not to create from scratch. because it's devoid of many complexities and problems. It's like buying a program or writing a program from scratch. Buying a program means it's easy, but you have to contend with the existing bugs and uh, uh, dysfunctionalities, functions that are not supported, unsupported functions. So creating an information system, a strategic information system, must be part of your plan. Precisely measuring the final output of the SIS is difficult. What do you mean by the final output here? What will you be able to do when you are finished with your creation of your information system? So to create, you have to answer the following questions. What would be the most effective way to gain advantage? What is the accessible or timely information to your employees, customers? No? What will be the easy way, the easy way for your customers or employees? No? Establish that advantage. Can your information system be developed to provide more accessible and timely information? No? Can you extract data from it and manipulate it and come up with a different format? No? So that is more useful to you. Not all functionalities, of course, can be provided by an information system. No, so that's impossible nowadays. No? Certain things need to be done manually. Will the development effort be worthwhile? For me, it should be worthwhile because it may not be economical, no? But it may gain you future benefits, more benefits in the future. Nowadays, no, establishing an information system may not be cheap because you have to buy equipment, you have to subscribe to an internet provider. So it's not just easy, no? But will it be worthwhile? Are you able to gain bigger benefits than your cost? You follow? What is the risk of not developing such a system? If you don't have a system, what will you need to do? Okay. Part of the consideration in addressing this question is, what if your system suddenly gets a lot of transactions? Like for example, you have so many students enrolling or so many customers buying. Okay. How will you be able to cope with the flooding of transactions? Will you be able to do that? Okay. Will there be opportunities lost if you do not develop such a system? Okay. Now, if you are buying and selling 10 items, you may not need a sophisticated information system because even if they're flooded, no, you can easily manage that. No? So sometimes there are businesses that sell so few products and yet need to be using information systems because they need to do it to finish the transactions quickly. They need to make business opportunities or business dealings is easily done with their customers or suppliers. Okay, so what is the risk of not developing it? Will it still be easy for your customers? Will it still be easy for you to contact your suppliers? If Are there other alternatives? So, pwede ka naman gumamit ng Excel, di ba? It's still an information system. If so, how do they compare with the advantage and the advantage of a new SIS? So, re-engineering and organizational change. No? Sometimes when you have an information system, you need to reorganize your organization. Di ba? Like, for example, you may have a sales department, but you don't have sales ordering. You have an invoicing department, but you don't have a sales order, or you may not have a customer lead department, which means that a department which will search for possible customers. Diba? So sometimes you may need to reach out to more customers. No? Re-engineering means eliminating and rebuilding operations from the ground up, okay, to accommodate for new components that are to achieve your goals. Most of the time, a new SIS requires businesses to revamp processes. So competitive always advantage is not a fixed target, no? It's a moving target. It's short-lived and it may require other initiatives to be able to continuously focus on achieving it, no? So CIS has become an expected business practice nowadays, no? JetBlue airline company, that's an example. You can search that on Google, no? Ticketless travel, kuya, no? Automation with IT. Of course, you can do that now. You can, if you have GCash, just have it, no? Reduce cost and improve service. Okay. Ticketless naman tayo ngayon, di ba? But it was JetBlue who first implemented the ticketless, which means you can just book online on the net and just then show your ID, okay? And then board your plane. They were the first to do this. Okay. Can you read the rest of this now? Hitting the wall, Adira. Sometimes you may hit the wall, which means that you will hit into a problem that you do not know how to solve. Like customers not interested in the web access. What did Ford do here? Ford ceased selling vehicles online, but they just use their website to advertise the most sellable products. They limited it there. Now, other companies may also learn the online part auctioning. Sometimes franchising, which is used to streamline the selling process so that customers, you will not be flooded with customers. But sometimes the franchises will not allow for companies to bypass dealers and get the sales directly. Sometimes, no, online sales initiative will fail. So the retreat, how do you retreat from a strategy? Ito yung ginagamit ng Ford, no? Ginamit ng Ford. They abandoned the plan to sell directly online. They use their website to to advertise the proper model only. The bleeding edge. This is way sometimes, no, you tend to be obsessed with automation that you overdo it, which means that you continue. There are so many businesses that are victims to this. Those who have very high strategic goals, no? Very ambitious goals, and they tend to buy. People tend to think that the more expensive the system is, the better it will be, which is not always the case. So maraming gumagamit ngayon ng mga S8, ng mga ERP that are forced to sustain the cost of the ERP because they think it will give them an edge. It's called the bleeding edge, which means that it will continue to incur cost to continue with the edge. The implementation costs are greater than anticipated, and you end up losing more money, okay, than gaining it. So there's so many companies that are suffering from the bleeding edge. Diba? Yung bumili ng mga SAP tapos they will not able to use it and we're forced to maintain the high cost. Diba? So in our case, it's a good alternative to start with open source Odoo because there's no maintenance cost. There's cost for setting up the hardware, but it's only one-time cost. No? Do you follow? That the costly process is learning the technology. Do you follow? which you can do. That's what we are doing here. No? Sometimes no, the bleeding edge will prevent companies from upgrading, which means they are not able to upgrade because they want the existing system to finish doing its major tasks. Okay. So when there's a bleeding edge, Microsoft approach is to seize the existing idea, to convince the customers that if you're using this, you're just perpetuating, no? Perpetuating your difficulty, perpetuating the cost. So improve and promote marketing power. That's what's Microsoft approach to bleeding edge. Okay. Okay, can you read this? No. Okay. And we'll try to find out how we can find this in Google. Now, there's if you go to our website, no, our Daigler site, no, daming question sa aking estudyante. I've already checked your, no. Sandali lang ha. Ayan na. Okay, so if you look at our our Daigler site, I have posted a video. Wala pa masyadong there's not much material on Odoo 15 yet. Last year when we were doing this with Odoo 15, there are so many materials that you can use. But anyway, okay, they are almost identical. I haven't identified the differences yet, but I presume the system will work the same. Very few differences on the layout of the. I'd like you to look at this, setting up incoming and outgoing mail. Okay, let's do that anyway. How do we set up incoming and outgoing mail? Kasi it may happen that you will have you test this, Ashley and Harleen are you there?
Yes, sir.
Ashley, you make Harleen a supplier, and Harleen, you make Ashley a supplier. Okay, and then we go to settings. Problema lang nito ngayon, Google has changed the protocol, I forgot the actual, There's a video, which I'd like you to look yourself, Settings, general settings. Where's that? Pa makita, no? But it's in the, ano. Let's look at the video for a while, no? Kasi nalimutan ko na.
Various kinds of email to customers and companies within Google. So we need not log into Gmail to do that. All we need is to configure our mail server. Okay. So in this video, let's see how we can configure our mail server. So first of all, we need to log into Oro as admin, since only the admin has access rights to settings and configuration. Okay, so first of all, we have to go to settings and make sure that there the mode is active. So just go below and then we can activate there the mode. It's already activated. Okay, now after that, we will come under technical settings. You can see there's the email section. You can configure outgoing mail server.
Bakit walang ano? I'm still wondering why I don't have a general setting. Baka meron pang install, no? I'm admin, no? Let me check this, no? We already have apps, no? Discuss module. Okay. Kasi kulang ng menu dito, no? Walang general settings. We cannot set up the email. Let me just go back. Kasi ano ito eh, there's the first time, there's already discussed, no? But we don't have general settings. Let me check this out, no? Bakit nawala yung aking ano? Baka mali yung aking, I'm not the administrator, okay? Kailangan yung administrator. That's why I'm ano.
Ay, sir.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Sa Udo na ano, sir ba, hindi ako makapasok. Pero pag yung local host na 8069, makapasok ako.
So can you show me that?
Ay.
Sandali lang ha. Ano ko lang yan. Share ko lang. Okay, sige daw. Sige daw. Kailangan pala, no? Para meron kang general settings. You have to be admin. Yes. Meron ng general settings. What happened? So yung ano hindi makapasok. Sige daw. Is that the admin? Ilag out mo daw. What's the problem with that? Can you click the login for me? Papayag ba siya on the same browser? You'll have to.
Sorry sir, hindi pala ako naka-mute pala ako. Kanina pa kasi sila.
Sige daw, okay.
Sir, ano ba, like, yung sa Udo na website, sir, wala daw akong account. Pero sa Udo na localhost
Oh, ano ba yun?
8069.
Ano ba yun? Wala ka talaga account doon sa loob.
Okay, sir. Yun lang, sir. Sorry, sir. Hindi ko alam, naka-mute pala ako.
Okay, sige. Yan sa Udo account, kung sa gusto mo magawa doon sa ano, magbayad, I don't think it's free.
Okay, sir.
Diba? Kasi sa ano na yun that's an enterprise login. So, hindi ka makalagin doon, but you can install Udo. What we are doing is we are installing Udo locally. So, dito tayo mag-test. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Kasi individual, there are so many Udo installations worldwide. Because many of them are in the cloud. In fact, you can set up your own Udo website on the cloud, but you have to pay subscription fees. Diba? So most of the time you'll have, but if you will install Udo locally, it's free. Okay?
Okay, sir.
You follow? So can I share now? Can I go back to the So we focus on our we focus on our local Udo, no? Tingnan na muna natin, nalimutan ko kung saan niya kinuha. They have
Add inconvenient service. And here when you search for email, so we can see external email service enabled. So when you enable this, we can configure.
Okay, so nandito na. So we have to search for email. So customize email service here, no? Magkaiba lang sila ng konti, okay? Okay. You configure your incoming email server. Okay. IMAP, let's find out, no?
Inconvenient server and update email server. Okay, so when you click on that,
Okay, can you do this? Huh? Yourself? Kasi dito sa purchase module, you can have sandali lang, no? Contacts. Okay, mga ano to, mga ano, suppliers, no? You can go ahead, no? And look at this, no? Look at the sales module. Pwede rin dito sa purchasing module, no? Okay. And email your supply, your cost, your purchasing, no? Your rather supplier, no? Okay. So you set this up. I-set up muna niyo. I'll set this up myself, no? Email. If you look at the, no? You look at the video and set up your incoming and outgoing. This will be used, no, by Odoo in order for you to receive and send mails, no? Right in here, no? Do you follow? Okay, so our incoming server is Gmail and our outgoing server is Gmail. Okay. Any questions so far? No. This is done per user, no? Do you follow? Pero hindi pala pwede pag ano, no? Hindi pala pwede pag hindi ka administrator. So do it for the administrator first. No? Look at this video and set up. Now, there's a problem in Gmail because the password that you have in Gmail may not work. You can look at the two two-level authentication, no? For Gmail. Okay. Two-step verification, no? Do you follow? I'll discuss this with you next meeting. Iti-test ko lang, no? I need time to test this, but I have tested this with the previous Odoo, no? And other clients. The thing about this, have you set up a Microsoft Microsoft Outlook client? Nasubukan nyo mag-set up ng Outlook client?
No pa, sir.
Pag mag-set up ka kasi ng Outlook client to a Gmail account, no, hindi mag-work yung Gmail password. Do you follow? You need a two-step verification. I'll explain that to you next meeting. I-test ko lang muna ng maayos, no? For the moment, you configure your own incoming and outgoing email, okay? Do you follow? Any questions so far? No? Di ko kasi na-test yung ano sa Odoo 15, but I'll try to test it, no, before next meeting. Okay? So gawin niyo ito, ha? Okay? You watch this video, how to set up, no, incoming and outgoing mail server. Okay? And you test sending an email. Kasi dito sa discuss, you can have, no, your own inbox. Ma-receive mo yung mga email dito at saka I'm not sure if there's an outbox, no? Yung direct messages is our, no, chat messages, no? Bakit walang sent mail, no? I'm not sure why there's no sent mail. Okay? Any questions? No? Okay? So, before the Christmas break, when will be our Christmas break? Problema, walang ado na ano, school calendar, no? Meron ba tayo? 2020 pa. We need a 2021. Tumeo de Manila man eh. I think it's December 17. 17 ba? Last day of class. Am I correct?
Hindi ko rin po alam.
17 yata, no? So dapat before sa ano, we'll be able to set up a sales and purchase. Okay? Before we go on a break. Test. Do the activities for sales and purchases. Okay? So any questions? So we'll do this together next meeting, okay? Okay. Any questions? Okay, thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Bye. I'll upload the video. No?
Yes, sir.